everyone. I'm gonna just wait a minute or two to let some people join us. Hi guys, my name's Bria Hammel. I'm gonna just wait a couple more minutes so that friends can join us here. Okay, let's get started. So my name's Bria Hammel. I am the principal designer and creative director for Bria Hammel Interiors. We are based here in lovely Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm so happy to be on here today. I have invited my dear friend Christi Barbour of Barbour Spangle to join me and just share a little bit more about why we think it's so important that you make High Point Market a priority in your business. So just give me 1 second while I figure out how to add Christi onto here. Let me see. I think I have invited her. Bear with me. So many people joining. Thank you guys. So nice to see you all. Christi, if you can hear me, maybe send a request to join if you're not getting my invite. Oh, technology. One second. Oh, it says she's unable to join. Let me try inviting her one more time. Oh, there she is.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so sorry. We were having technical difficulties.
I mean, story of my life here. We get it. We're designers, not IT people.
Exactly.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you, friend?
I'm great. Well, I'm going to do a formal intro, even though I'm sure so many of the people on here know who you guys are, but let me just be formal about this for a minute. So my dear friend Christi here is the founder and partner of the multifaceted, award-winning Barbour Spangle design located right here in High Point. Her and her team are uniquely situated at the intersection of residential, showroom, and commercial design worlds, which always just blows my mind that you guys truly do it all. And a major reason why I wanted Christi to join me on this is because in the fall of 2021, Christi assumed the role of vice chair of the High Point Market Authority after serving on the board and executive committee for 3 years, and soon to be president, right? Or what's the
Chairman
title?
of the board.
Chairman of the board. I don't have the technicalities right, but yeah. So I just thought that this is a perfect opportunity for me to have a true expert join us here and talk a little bit more about why market's so important for interior designers and their business. I know for me, I've been going for 10 years now. I've only missed one market of all the markets in 10 years. And I just know for me, it has always been such a priority to make time for myself and my team to come to market. So I can share what I have experienced, but I know that you are truly the expert of what High Point does for a business and why people should come. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to ask you a few questions about it, and we can just kind of talk about some of these details. So maybe to start with, when we talk about you planning for market, do you go into High Point with objectives of like what you and your team want to do while you're attending market?
Absolutely. I think great strategy is one of the key to success, right? And so it can range anything from we want to find new resources,
right,
to we want to have key conversations with the people at market, whether they be the marketing team, the sales team, the business team, talking about account management and even pricing structures. That's one thing that I'd love to talk to our friends that are listening about, just thinking about that. The other thing that we always try to do is attend the panels and all of the opportunities that you have for learning. There's great continuing education classes. There's wonderful panels with many of our friends who speak on their experience in the business and what they've been doing. So I think those are great to attend. And then, of course, as we know, because we enjoy it when we get to see each other, just getting to see our design friends from across the country. And I think that's really missed when we missed market because of COVID. We've realized how important those relationships were. So our team is sizable enough that we divide and conquer, and we try to make an effort to do and see as much as we can.
Yeah, I think that's so smart, because one thing that when people are asking me about why they should go to market, and it's always an investment if you plan on taking your team anywhere, especially if you have to travel from afar like we do. But I always remind people that it's not just about seeing furniture. It's so much more than that. There's education and like you said, the connectivity with other designers, and it's just kind of invaluable that you can go to one place and over a few days retain so much information that is so far beyond just sitting on sofas and seeing new light fixtures. So I think that that's so important to point out, is that like don't think so narrowly about that it's just new product seeking, but really just how to really like build a well-rounded team. So I love that. Do you have any tips you could share about effectively managing your priorities and the schedule when it comes? I heard you say that you divide and conquer, and I think that's really important. I know when I've brought my team with, we've brought probably as many as 7 or 8 people at one time, and it can be so overwhelming because all of us being designers, it's like kids in a candy store. Everybody wants to go to see every different piece, and you can end up being in a showroom for 3 hours. So do you have any tips on kind of how you manage that?
A lot. I'll share a couple, and then if you've got any questions, we can dig deeper. High Point is big, as we all know. So one thing that people don't know enough about is the shuttle system that exists within the market. And so one of the big secrets is the Go Anywhere van, where you can pick up the phone, they can come and pick you up, and they can take you wherever. And the other thing to inquire about is a lot of manufacturers have their own in-house shuttle. And so they'll pick you up, they'll take you to your next step. So just being able to get around market is huge. Another place that I would say, especially if you're new, is to go to the Point, which is on Centennial Street, and meet with a market advisor. Because if you don't quite know like where to start, that's a really great place to get some information, to talk to some experts, and get a game plan for how you're going to spend your time. Because with the size that High Point is, it's virtually impossible to see everything. So part of the strategy that I mentioned earlier in coming to market is just making sure what you need, what your main objectives are, what you need to accomplish. And when you do that, you can kind of build your day according to that with these market advisors who know so much about market. A couple other things: make appointments with reps, because then you'll have the dedicated time that you should, and that one-on-one FaceTime, which is so valuable. That's something that, a lot of people ask me about, what is the value of market? And a lot of it is that one-on-one time where you get to have those conversations and talk about your pricing structure and how can you get to the next level, and how can you engage and be a better buyer, and how can they be a better vendor to you so that you've got a great partnership. One of the tips that we like to talk about is work one building at a time. You will drive yourself crazy if you are bouncing, and you know how this is. And sometimes you can't avoid it, right? Because of appointments or, specific meetings or panels or things we want to attend. But if you're bouncing all over High Point, you're just losing so much time. So if you can shop by building, and then even to delineate further in that is shop by the neighborhoods. So we have 7 neighborhoods, or market districts as they're referred to, and you can kind of do each of those all at one time. And High Point's weather can be really tricky this time of year, spring and fall. And so I always say, watch the weather, and on beautiful days, do the outlying buildings. And then that way, if there are rainy days, you can be in a couple of the bigger buildings and still be equally as productive without having to get out into the elements. If it's beautiful every day, it doesn't matter. But if there's be rainy days, try to make sure that you can hang out in the buildings that are bigger, or that also connect, because there's quite a few buildings that actually connect and have skywalks.
That is like number one tip. We always look at the forecast, and the rainy day, we're always saving the IHC building and some of the buildings that you could get lost in all day long, and try and plan that to be the rainy day building. I don't know if I've ever been to a market where there isn't some sort of weather that happens. I mean, I've driven to market through a hurricane. There's been downpouring rain. I don't know if we've ever done snow. Luckily, we have enough of that here in Minnesota. But so that is a huge tip.
Yeah,
if you can have that, if you can have that flexibility, where you can kind of adjust your schedule based on the weather, you will be a much happier designer or person walking around market. That's for sure.
I so agree.
I love that. I think that's also a great tip that I actually didn't know. So you just taught me something, that at the point there's those experts there that can kind of help you determine where to go. I might even try that, after this many years. There's still sometimes something we have on our list of like, we really want to discover a new brand for this. And to have somebody to go to kind of pick their brains about like, this is the type of product that we're looking for. Where would you suggest going? It is so much fun, even after the years of going, finding new buildings or new companies. And like you said, it's such a massive market that I think you guys probably explore and find new places too. So, I mean, and I know that things are adding and changing. So I love that tip of going to the point and asking an expert. So thanks for that one.
You're so welcome. That's what they're there for. And they know the ins and outs and every square foot. So they can be tremendously helpful. And if they don't have the answers, they can get them for you. So that's the thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So along those lines, do you have any favorite vendors or showrooms that are like, if you're going to market, you have to make time to go to these showrooms?
Well, one of the things that I love is the inner hall at the IHSC building, which is that big building that you mentioned. The inner hall does, the people who curate the vendors who show in inner hall do a really good job at finding a lot of the new vendors, people that we haven't seen before. Maybe they're in some of the European shows and they've just come here, the latest and the greatest. So we always try to hit inner hall and walk those walls so that we can see those. It's a great location. 214 modern, and then the antique and vintage. We love those, and those are some that if you were planning your days, I would start there first, because as antique and vintage, they sell out quickly. Yep. So always start there early. I really enjoy, there's a great design district right off of MLK in downtown, off of Main Street and MLK, and I think it includes like Ole, Mr. Brown, South and Main, Branch Home, Julian Chichester. That's a very fun destination. And just a little bit north of there is Modern History, and they've got a great outdoor area and a great entertaining area, but he has a wonderful collection of artwork from around the world. So, and not to mention, the great case goods that he has. So those are fun. For our friends down at Varellin on the south side of town, we love to go to their space. They do such a great job with their merchandising, their product design, and their environment is just really fun to be in, right?
It's a great place when you're a little tired at the end of the day to be able to just, you instantly feel calm when you're in their showroom, and it's just a very nice place to settle down and relax. And I mean, that's what their product's all about. So yeah, I love that place.
Yeah, just cozy and comfortable. And Cohab is another great one. It's a little bit further west of town. It's a great area. They have several different vendors there, a really large presentation. And so that's a fun one to walk around as well. Yeah. So there's so much good stuff at market. That's the thing, is you just can't see it all, which is why we have to come back market after market.
Yep. I agree.
Yep.
I go to a lot of different markets, but I always feel like High Point's where, one, I get the most steps, and two, you really feel like you can go and get it all in one place, which I love. If you do, if you're a newer company and you're just starting out and you have to decide where to dedicate those dollars to, High Point Market's just such a great investment, because you really can get it all in one place. So you can love it about there.
So true.
Okay, so a designer is coming to market for the very first time. Do you have any tips for them of like, the point I think is a great tip, but any other tips about, what they should do, how they should approach it? I mean, when you go so many times, you kind of just make assumptions that everybody understands it, but it can be hard to navigate. Like, where do you stay? Or, how do you get from, maybe you're not staying in High Point and you're staying in an outlying city. How do you get to market every day? So do you have any tips for our people here that have not been yet?
Yes. So if you have not been, we're excited to have you and welcome you into High Point. A couple of things that I would say is, definitely before you even leave home, download the High Point Market app. It is recently being revamped and it is continually being improved upon. But you can go there for food, for events, for maps. That I've mentioned the market district,
Yeah.
so you can get to know the market district. You can find out shuttle services. So that is really a great one-stop shop for all of you listening. Download the market app and just utilize that to its fullest extent, and it will continue to get more robust over the next, the coming months. So stay tuned for great things. The other thing I would say, if you're a designer and it's a first time at market, don't be overwhelmed when you first set foot into downtown. There's a phrase that some people refer to as the market spins, where people are just like, oh my gosh, because there's just so much to see and do and go to. And don't get those, just go to the point, because that's going to be where they can help you navigate or pull up that app and be able to understand what you want to do. And then also I would encourage you to remember as designers that our voice is significant in this industry, and it continues to become more powerful, and it is growing day by day. And so these vendors, unlike the days of past where they may not have been very designer friendly, they now are, and they want us in their showroom. They want to have conversations with you. They want to figure out how to make you money. They want you to be successful. So don't be shy about coming in and having those conversations, because everyone here is really here to help.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I think it's so true. 10 years ago when I came, I remember having to be like, ask some questions like, am I allowed in that showroom or am I not allowed in that showroom? And you're right. It is so different now that, we're getting emails saying, please come in. We want to meet. Let us show you our product. And, we'd love to give you a personal tour. So don't be afraid to step in those doors. And even if you're a little hesitant or it looks like one, you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to be here, just ask. Like, no one's going to be offended.
Exactly.
So,
just ask.
That's right.
Don't be afraid. You are here to do business with them, and they want you as much as you want them.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so to wrap up, I have a couple of more fun questions for everybody. 3 must-pack items in your suitcase when traveling to High Point Market.
Oh gosh. Let's see. I would have said the High Point Market app. Not that that's technically in your suitcase. Yeah. Layers. Be sure to bring layers, because as I mentioned earlier, the weather at High Point can get really tricky. Yep. And so layer up and have light layers to be able to adjust. And let's see, maybe because it tends to get rainy, a rain jacket of some sort. Not sexy items, but necessity.
Totally. If I were to add, I would say a really lightweight bag. In my opinion, you don't need the wheeling suitcases to bring with you. I don't know how many people are still carrying around paper catalogs, but we always tell the showrooms to please email us if they have a digital copy, or honestly, everything is pretty much online now. So as long as it's live on their site, we always tell them, send us an email so that we have a link directly to it. But the days of carrying around those heavy suitcases to put all your catalogs in are long gone.
They're long gone. Well, and that's funny you say that, because I was going to say what you don't want to pack are any of these big bulky bags or carry, like wheel bags, because you just don't need it. And even a lightweight bag, there are so many companies here that are giving those away. So say you get here and you forgot one, don't worry about it, because there's going to be plenty of vendors that are going to give you a really great looking lightweight bag to carry around and keep it simple.
It's so true. Even when I bring the lightest of purses with me, by the end of the day, my shoulders are hurting. So like the smaller the bag, if I can hold a lip gloss and a cell phone with some cash, I'm good.
You're good.
So every year it just gets a little bit smaller. I'm like, I really don't need to carry that around with me every day. So, and then I always tell everyone, like, do not pack only one pair of shoes. You have to change your shoes. You can't wear the same pair every day. It doesn't matter how comfortable you think they are. You will be sore. It's a marathon, but that's the thrill of it. So it's so exciting, but just pack multiple pairs of shoes.
Great minds think alike. I was going to say, there's 12 million square feet of showroom space here. So to your point, it is a marathon. Yeah. And so we always say change your shoes every day, because that will help. But as cliche as it is, do not bring heels. They're not for you. At every market, we see some poor soul walking down the street, literally carrying her high heels because she started and couldn't finish the day. So just wear comfy shoes and have several pairs to change out.
Yep. I love that idea. Yeah, I don't, those people that can walk around in the heels, more power to them. I've never been one of them.
Exactly. The same.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for doing this with me. It's so fun to see you.
So good to see
I
you.
would love to tell everybody that if you have questions for Christi or I, you can reach out to us. Her Instagram account is Barbour Spangle, and my Instagram account is Bria Hammel Interiors. We will obviously both be at market. So if you see us on the street, please grab us, say hello. We're happy to help. I'm not nearly the expert that Christi is, but I can pretend. So, and if it's just to say hi, we would love it. So
We would love it. Yes, absolutely. Please stop me if you see me. And thank you, Bria, for inviting me to do this. It's so good to see you. And
yeah.
I'm excited at all the people who have joined, and we can't wait to welcome you to High Point.
Yeah.
So we look forward to it soon.
All right. Thanks, Christi. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.